your soul crushed. AOTB. Greatest cruises
You complain, yeah, I'm on camera. You complained about 16 minutes of footage, and I was talking about 40-something minutes of footage, and I said a lot of that was based on us arguing. And I said we haven't argued since you've been shooting, and that's what cut down the time. And I said I think a lot of arguing calls for some compelling shows, and that's when you threw out your joint how people were saying shows are much better now, and that's when you went into the joint with that anybody could be a partner.
This is why bands break up. This is why rap groups break up.
That's what exactly happened. You know, they could go straight forward, but in the boxing world, after they hit 80,000 miles, it's downhill from that. They all go downhill after 80,000 miles. Shout out to the warranty companies that's ripping me off right now. But Andre Dirrell acts more like a German performance car, and Arthur Abraham performs more like an American-made muscle car. Ford F-150 straight ahead. Andre Dirrell likes to handle those curves. So I'm going to let you start. You set it off, Doc. Explain it to me.
Outbox, got that jab in his face. Dirrell was too slick for him. He had too many angles. He got caught. He was going backwards a lot of times when Abraham pressed the action, but Abraham really didn't have the key to that puzzle.
There was some nuances in that fight, and it seemed to be, you know, as we get to the third act of the story, things could have changed.
Things were bound to change, and I think that the squad got DQ at the end kind of bailed Andre Dirrell out. Because, what was it? That was the round, it was stopped at round 11? That was 10 rounds. So, the end of round 9, I made an observation when Dirrell went back to his corner, his legs were straight, his legs were stiff. I think he got hit with a left.
He got knocked down, and Lawrence Cole failed to recognize it as a knockdown. He said he tripped over, and we was talking about...
What's his code name?
Tricky Dicky Cole, that's his code name.
It was clearly a knockdown.
It should never be allowed outside of the
low down, gritty.
It should never let him outside of the state of Texas, by the way.
I think that it was a very bizarre situation because I thought that Andre Dirrell was heading for the Pine Box, but
you say either way, Andre Dirrell will lose that fight.
Andre Dirrell was going to lose that fight.
I think this is what I think. I think after 7th, 8th rounds, he had that fight in the bag. He clearly was winning that fight by a landslide. He should have gone into, I won't say survival mode, but more like preservation mode. Like, all you had to do was just keep that jab. Same thing we did early on, was press that jab. Keep that jab, get through angles, and get out of the way. He started playing to the crowd. I don't know if it was the hometown pride or what it was, but he started, making faces. He started engaging dude more. The thing is, Abraham's a very dangerous puncher. And he's partly to blame for all that. He was being found. He's too tall. He's too slick. He should have been got out of dude's punching range. So that fight could have totally ended up going to the cards as it should have. But Dirrell made it the fight that it was early on, and he made it the fight that it ended up being.
But you find it consistent with the crotch fight. It was the same situation. Crotch fight. It was the same situation.
The thing is, the defense was getting penetrated.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Look, man, the thing about Andre Dirrell is he has no identity in the ring. Like every 3 rounds, he's a new fighter in that Frost fight, especially. He changes up style.
I kind of disagree with you guys.
I'm talking good.
I think he's definitely talented, but he can't.
I mean, I thought Dirrell fought the perfect fight. Like, early on, I thought it was going to be an issue with him trying to press the action, really, give himself away with telling shots. But he settled into a mode early on where he was leading, but he was leading with movement. Then the second half of the fight, he was making Abraham chase him. He was counterpunching him, hitting him with a lot of telling shots. I think the fight changed when he got knocked down, which he didn't call a knockdown. Right before that, Abraham hit him with a very short left hook. And it wasn't real telling, but the reaction of Abraham and the reaction of Dirrell told the whole story. Abraham smiled, Dirrell paused, and it started backing up. So Abraham knew he hurt him right there. So even when Abraham heard him to drop him, I thought Dirrell was still trying to win the fight, but he was becoming fatigued, and we all felt as though he was wearing. And Abraham, on the other hand, didn't seem, even though his face was cut, even though he was dropped, he just didn't seem to wear. He just seemed strong. And it was that F-150 comparison. Even though you can handle all you want, if we go head to head, I'm gonna knock you down. But I did think Dirrell grew a lot in the ring. And what do y'all think about, as far as the end of the fight? It seemed like Dirrell was he acting? Or was he really dazed? Because he thought he got
I just talked to one of my homeboys via Twitter from Flint, Michigan, and he said that he got taken to the hospital. It was really serious.
Yeah, he thought he lost the fight. They had to convince him that he didn't get dropped. He's like, I got dropped, dog.
He thought he was mad at him here. I guess it didn't look, because our debate was basically when he went down, it looked like it took him a while to really go out. And he seemed like he had his wits when he got hit.
He grabbed his hip, but sometimes.
But then he went into tremble mode and he was shaking. It looked really scary for a second.
And that's the thing, like, he probably totally, when he slipped, like, if you're tense and you're expecting a punch, that's one thing. But if you slip and think you're safe, and the whole motto, protect yourself at all times, but I think he let himself go and wasn't expecting to get hit and got hit with a hook. And like when we argued about, I think it's kind of unfair because boxers, you're in that tense attack mode for 10 rounds, and Abraham could have very well thought he was like getting real low to different punch. I know that could sound harsh.
Yeah,
I don't think he wanted to hurt him. I just think he was in emotional.
He wasn't trying to hurt him. He saw him down. He took an opportunity to get a cheap shot at him. He probably didn't know it was going to have that effect. But it's, any little thing, a fight, and Bernard Hopkins do it a lot. Any little thing, a punch off a clinch, or any little thing to get a little edge.
That's different.
No, it's not, because it's getting an edge. The guy slipped down, get a little nick in. He might be a little woozy by the time he stands up.
Fighter. Like, first of all, we're speaking from clear heads, not in the ring. You're in the midst of battles, adrenaline is pumping. You're getting hit with a ton of shots. You're in the 10th round. Who knows where his head was. You hit a person who's been slipping stuff all day long, and they slip, they drop a level, and then they drop a level again, and you come with another punch, and you're not looking to see if the knee hits the canvas or not. You got some famous fighters who were able to do the favorite flame.
He had to scoop down to punch him. Now, he's not punching like this. He's not punching like this. He's going down like that. So that means for him to even aim like that, you're aware that the guy's down.
Yeah, there's many rounds where Dirrell.
I ain't gonna punch somebody down like
There's many
this.
rounds where he had Dirrell in the corner, and Dirrell slipped everything, moving his head. And
But you're punching down like this.
He was punching down. He was punching down when Dirrell was doing this, and he couldn't land. But I just don't think Abraham purposely hit him. So well, this fight is a wash. Dirrell gets the win by DQ. He doesn't get the 2-point decision or whatever.
Reminds me of the proverbial relationship or infatuation you might have with a girl in high school, and you always want her, see her in a class reunion.
I see where you go.
I'm wondering, was she not really that dope?
But what do you do just for GP? You smash it just to get that story done, right?
And I'm teeter-tottering here of, this is the fight we wanted 16 years ago. This is the fight we wanted 10 years ago. We wanted this fight when they were 60-40.
40 with the butt.
Yeah, and on top of that, now we have it, and we're like, okay, do we really want it now, or do we not want it? I mean, we're sitting here arguing amongst ourselves.
Where's the hoopla?
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, and
Because they're not buying it.
Exactly.
The public's not buying it.
Right. So my question is that does everybody believe that Roy's really shot? I think Sleep said that they have a secret partnership. They really like each other. Outside of the negotiations, that this is just all ploy. They really like each other. It's just another payday for Bernard, another payday for Roy, and call it a day. I personally believe that there's some compelling storylines in this. Bernard could possibly erase, one of the L's he had on his record and cement his legacy. Roy, on the other hand, if he could turn back the clock and find a fountain of youth, and basically go back to the Roy of the 90s per se, which I doubt, he could basically cement his legacy too.
How does Roy do this?
That's not going to
Your
happen.
main card, not your main argument, is about reciprocating stuff that you did.
You're using it in a different frame of reference, because when I would have an issue, it was about if we agreed to something and people following through with the agreement. It has nothing to do with me giving, you giving back. It has nothing to do with...
Okay, but...
No.